Hey friends, what's up? So I'm going to be updating this project because I want to update testingjavascript.com. I'm hoping to do like kind of a re-release next month or sometime soon, where like people who have already bought it don't have to buy it again, but we give updates to all the tooling and everything. Yeah, everything should be fresh and working with the latest version of everything. So that's kind of the goal there. I'm also giving using this repo for a workshop that I'm giving at React Amsterdam in a couple weeks, maybe like 1 week. When is that? Yeah, 2 weeks. So yeah, so I also want to make sure that that is all squared away and we're using the latest and greatest of everything. Unfortunately, this is sold out, so sorry. But yeah. If you want, actually, if you'd like to attend a workshop, then you can come in here, look at the available workshops, testing. This is coming up. We're going to be doing some testing React applications. So if this is interesting to you, sign up to the newsletter, send me a tweet or something, and say, hey, I really want this, and we'll make this happen. It'll be great. But yeah, so for today, we are just going to be updating this project to use all the latest stuff. I think my last commit was October, so let's see what has changed since October. That's I actually know, I already ran it. So everything should actually work here. Actually, I'm just kind of curious if we git add and git reset hard. We have a package lock in here right there. So if I run npm install, or actually there is a setup script right here that'll run the install and then validate. So npm run setup. So presumably, because everything was working at the time that I left this project 6 months ago, everything should be still working because we have the package lock in there. If it's not working, then, oh, actually, you know what? One thing, I don't really trust, oh my goodness. See, it's still going. Isn't that like bonkers to you? Like, that drives me bonkers. Okay, close. Okay, I should have removed my node modules first because I installed it with yarn and things were busted. I want to see if installing it with npm, so we'll run install and then validate. I want to see if installing it with npm is going to, because we have the package lock in place, if that'll continue to work. That's typically the thing that I like to do first is let's make sure that this thing can work, that the code that exists in there and whatever is in a state that can work. So that's what we're going to try here first. Unzipping Cypress because it's all compressed and stuff. We've got our number of seconds right there, which is kind of cool. So 3 more seconds-ish. And boom. Finished installation. 0 vulnerabilities. Couple vulnerabilities here because we actually install in I think we've got a post install that'll install the server dependencies and stuff. So I guess the server has some vulnerabilities or something. And serve has an update available. But yeah, we're running our Cypress tests, verifying Cypress can run. And like we did run all the tests, so those passed. When I installed everything with yarn, transitive dependencies busted the world and things, but the package lock is making it work for us, which is great. Cool. So I don't want to use the package lock actually. I want to use yarn now. So I'm going to remove node module, and you know what's funny is the package lock got updated somehow. See, this is why I use yarn, because I never trust this to work properly. It shouldn't be modified. If it exists, it shouldn't be modified. So we're going to use the package lock, and we're going to remove node modules. And then also, we have this server that has a package JSON and a package lock. We're going to do that too. Remove the server node modules and the server package lock. And now I'm going to change this. Well, see, here's the thing is like, yeah, that's a total bummer. But like, since I'm doing this in a workshop, I don't want to expect people to have yarn installed. Dang it. So I'm gonna run npm install again, and we'll have it all installed, and then I'm gonna use npm update. So normally, yeah, this is just the way of a instructor. You just have to use the tools that people are going to have installed by default. I don't want to require people to have yarn installed as much as I would prefer that. So normally I have this alias yarn update, and that's how I update. I use yarn upgrade interactive latest, but instead I'm going to use npm update, which is alias to npm check with npx, and it's pretty good. So this is what we're going to do right now. And actually I'll cd into the server, and we'll do an npm update there too. And you know what, I'm going to just save that really quick so that it doesn't run the post install, because I'm going to run these at the same time. We've got just debug needs to be updated. So I'm going to click on that to see debugs breaking changes. My guess is that it's just dropping an old version of Node or something, because this package hasn't changed in like a long time. So we'll look at releases here. I'm not sure why that was. We have a changelog in here? Nope. So this is very common in Sundari packages. He never has a changelog, and it's really annoying. So I look through the commits and deprecate changelog, remove changelog. Let's find out what the reasoning behind that was. Oh, it's move to the GitHub releases. Well, but you're not doing GitHub releases because I literally just have one, and it's not 4.0. So that's unfortunate. I'm pretty sure we'll be fine, so we'll just stick with it. And in fact, I don't think we use debug a whole lot. Yeah, just have get debugger for the app. That's it. So debug, the way you use it, yeah, it's just a function you call. So we're not using it in a broken way, so we'll just upgrade it and hope that nothing breaks. On the other side, we have pretty much everything is broken, has broken a broken version, or a major version, that's what I'm looking for. And then we have some non-semver, which could be broken. So I'm going to just upgrade those wholesale, and we'll take a look. I know emotion has changed quite a bit, so I'll have to probably fix that. React emotion, yeah, all of the emotion stuff we'll have to make changes to. CSS loader is probably fine. The file loader is probably fine. Those don't change. Like, those are probably node version drops or like edge case things that change pretty rarely. Husky we'll have to make a little change to in our config. I know what that one is all about. Jest, there's a config change, and that's part of what this update for the course is actually for Husky and Jest. And Jest emotion, there's a bit of a change there. Lint staged, I don't think we care about the changes there. And then React testing library, we don't care about the changes there. Jest runner ESLint, my guess is we don't care about the changes there, but let me take a look at that really quick. We want the changelog. Yeah, so it looks like it now requires Jest and ESLint as dependencies, which I believe we should have those. ESLint, yep, there it is, so we're fine there. Yeah, and then drop node 4. Okay, so that's fine, and then the test data bot doesn't have the repository field, which is unfortunate. This is why, oh, okay, I guess I had that in my history. That will give me the, oh, yeah, it doesn't give me the repository because it doesn't have the repository field. So GitHub test data bot. Yeah, this is why I use a generator for my open source stuff, so I don't forget stuff like that. Okay, so do we have a change log? Yeah, we do. Sweet. Yeah, that was a new feature, so not a breaking change. We're good. Okay, sweet. So we get that running, and I'm gonna go ahead and we'll save that. It'll probably run the post install, but that's fine. It'll run instantly. So one thing that I definitely am gonna need to look at is the jest config, because we want the setup test after setup files after env. I am actually I inspired that new addition. I'm super happy that it happened, even though it means I have to update my my workshop and stuff. Okay, cool. So now we're all set. I know tons of things are broken, so I'm just gonna hit a couple of them that I know we can fix pretty quick. So we've got all of our script right here. I'm going to add a Husky hooks pre-commit, and before we had the pre-commit right there, now it's a pre-commit under Husky hooks. So that pre-commit just ran lint staged, and that. So we'll just move that here. So that takes care of the Husky breaking change. And then let's take a look at the Babel plugin emotion. So emotion.sh. I'm going to just try and update as much as I can, and then we'll run all the tests and the validate script and everything and just see if maybe magically it's working. So we want the Babel plugin, Babel preset CSS prop, probably going to be what we want. Hey there, King Daro. Highly recommended. Okay, so we're still installing the right thing. Okay. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so we'll take a look at our Babel RC emotion. Okay, sweet. So I think if we want the CSS prop, which I think we are using, then we're going to need the preset also. Maybe. Let me take a look at this really quick. I'm going to go to the packages, preset CSS prop. Yeah. Okay, so this does. Okay, it includes the emotion plugin. Yeah, it does it like a couple of things to fix stuff. So I think we want to do this. So I'm going to install emotion Babel. So we'll npm as a dev dependency emotion Babel preset CSS prop. And you know what I'm going to do? I think this is actually what what I've done in the past is I use yarn until I am good to go, and then I switch it over to npm because I just don't trust npm at all. It just I'm always nuking my node modules directory. So we're going to rmrf node modules and server node modules and package lock and server package lock. And then I'm going to come in here, and instead of npm install, we'll just do yarn. And we'll run npm run setup. Old habits die hard, though. When I'm running scripts, I use npm. I've just been doing it for a long time, but when I'm installing stuff, I want to install stuff with Yarn. I just trust it a lot more. This setup is going to fail because the validate script is not going to work. I'm 99% positive. Yeah, we get a deprecation warning because we've upgraded, but it looks like some of the tests are passing. Gotta fix some emotion stuff. Okay, cool. Sweet, so now I'm feeling a lot better about that. I don't think we need Babel plugin emotion installed anymore. Let's just double check. This has that as a dependency. Yep, so we can yarn remove Babel plugin emotion. Boom, it's gone. And then we'll go to our Babel RC, and instead of Babel plugin emotion, we'll use the preset. So go presets, get rid of all those weird plus things, and that one too. And then we can get rid of emotion, except I want to have all of this stuff right here. We've got our label format already and the auto label. Sweet, so then we can get rid of this. Okay. I'm gonna keep React loadable around, even though we have React suspense now and it's awesome. React loadable is still useful, but it's like, yeah, so because concurrent mode isn't a thing yet, the big difference between React loadable and React suspense, okay, actually, I'm just going to leave React loadable because it'll be who knows how long before suspense can do all the cool things React loadable can do, in particular with server rendering. So we're just going to leave that as it is. Okay, cool. So I think emotion's probably okay. I think let's take a look, because I think we may actually need to import something different. I think there's now styled emotion or something. So emotion styled is what we want. But let's take a look. Emotion in our app, emotion theming. Let's look at theme provider, theming. Here we go. Yeah, emotion theming is still the way we do that. Cool, cool. And React emotion. So this no longer is the case. We don't want React emotion. We want emotion styled. So we're gonna yarn remove React emotion. Oh, and here, let me yarn that. What is going on? Okay. Uh-oh. My computer, or my editor, is having trouble. Boo! And the funny thing is that just with the way that I have my desktop set up and my dock to auto hide, there we go. It just wasn't showing up. Okay, let's force quit that thing. And actually, I don't need that open. And yeah. Okay, cool. So let's try to get that going again. We're going to, yeah, that one. Okay, we're back in the game. Gonna go to our server and yarn. Oh, I think I already did that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so then it's because I used yarn. Yeah, VS Code is mad at me because I'm using yarn. Okay, so we're gonna yarn add emotion styled, yarn remove React emotion, and then I think let's look at the install. Yeah, they want you to install emotion core. You no longer install the emotion package itself, which is interesting. So we're yarn remove emotion and yarn add emotion core. See, if I were doing all of this with npm, there's no way I would believe that it worked. I just would have to like redo everything every time because I just wouldn't believe it. Okay, so we've got emotion core, that's a dependency, yeah, those are right. And those are devs. Okay, that makes sense. And emotion theming is still a thing. We have emotion styled, Babel plugin emotion, but we're using the preset instead. And if we're not using React, we're just using vanilla emotion, then we'll just use emotion package. Yeah, okay, cool. So we're good. CSS prop. Yeah, we're doing that thing. Yeah, okay. Sweet. We're set. All right. Let us, now I gotta go find all the emotion imports and change it to emotion core. Or all the React emotion. Let's find all the React emotion stuff first. And we'll just straight up replace React emotion. Well, here, let's find those first. Oh, there's only one. In that case, we'll do emotion styled. This is a pretty small project. It's a calculator. Not a whole lot of stuff going on in here. It's kind of intentional, but it's doing all the things that you would expect to need to do in a real app. So that's what's that all about. It's 1 a.m. in Vietnam. Go to sleep. Goodness gracious. It is, what time is it? 11:58 where I am. A.m. Almost lunchtime. So yeah, maybe go to sleep. Probably be a good thing. Okay. So we got emotion theming. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so emotion's done. Let's see what else we updated. So we had CSS loader's fine, Husky, Jest needs to be updated. So let's take a look at our, let's see, setup, test, yep, that's the one. Setup files after env, boom. And that should probably be everything, I think, for that. I think that should be it. Okay, cool, cool. We've got our, okay, this one needs to be updated also. So instead of wrapping everything in the theme provider, we're actually going to use we'll use options here. Just know that they're both options, that's fine. But we're going to do options, and wrapper is wrapper. And here, actually, what we can do is wrapper. And we'll say the theme is themes dark. And actually what we'll do here is we'll say options, and we'll take a theme, themes dark is the default. We'll pass that as the theme. Sweet, and then we can say, we'll pass just the UI here. Okay. Perfect. Great, okay. And our just common, yeah, I looked at that already. The linting one is kind of fun. Server. Setup test, here we go. Why didn't I see that? Okay, well, we don't need to do the snapshot serializer anymore with just emotion. It's actually much better. And here, actually, I want to import just DOM, extend, expect. We want to add just DOM to the project. Yarn add dev just DOM. And actually, I'm not even going to do this. We're going to have setup tests, and we'll do it this way. Should be much better. We get rid of this setup test thing. Okay, cool. And I feel like there was, oh yeah, the serializer, snapshot serializers. The just emotion, snapshot serializers. Cool, cool. Much better. So somebody is saying I need to add search on my blog. Wanted to look for a test post I did a while ago, but couldn't find it. Yeah, so I'm working on this. Let me show you one thing first. You can go to kentcdodds.com/testing. It's my garden of testing stuff, like my top testing posts. I'm going to have one of these for React and JavaScript and stuff like that, where I'll just like keep a curated list of all my posts. These are hand curated. These posts are great, kind of thing. But if you just want to search my site, let me show you a cool feature of Google. Site kentcdodds.com/blog testing. And you can just search my whole site with Google. I thought about adding just like a little search thing that basically just takes you here. Because yeah, it's actually it works really well. So give that a shot. Eventually maybe I'll add a search. Probably should. Probably would be even better if I did that with Algolia or whatever that service is called. That'd be pretty cool. It's probably something I'll do in the future. Yeah, so this is not a tag. This is hand curated. I like manually added these. I'm gonna get a design on here and it'll look nice, and then I'll kind of promote it around a little bit. We'll have like little cards and stuff with the images and whatever, but that's coming eventually. It's only so much time I can spend on doing things I don't get paid for. No, you're good, Tiago. That's fine. Okay, cool. So we got our snapshot serializer. We got rid of the setup test, which is kind of nice. Yeah, now I want to rewrite all the things from class components to hooks. We'll do that eventually. But let me just run the tests here really quick. So run all of my jest configurations. I know exactly what is going on. If we go to our test utils, not everybody is calling render with a second argument, so I need to default that to an empty object. So regenerator runtime is not defined. I have seen this way too many times. I'm not happy about it. It's super annoying. I think I have to include regenerator runtime or something. I can't remember how to do this. Okay. But this is like everybody has seen this, so this should be a pretty quick and easy fix. Yeah, so people say Babel polyfill. I think what I'd rather, there's another solution to this. Yeah, Babel plugin transform runtime. I think that's what I want. Yeah. I think, hold on a second. Let me see what KCD scripts does. Babel. Oh, Babel. That one. Runtime. Yeah, Babel/runtime. Okay, and then we need that too. Okay, so we're gonna yarn add as a dev dependency Babel runtime and Babel plugin transform runtime. Okay. Oh, and yeah, we got the Babel core, or yeah, Babel core bridge thing still, which is, I don't know if that's necessary anymore with Jest. Might be. I'm going to try and remove it. Actually, let's just try and remove it right now. See what happens. Oh, I didn't save it. So if everything breaks, remind me that I might need to add that back. But let's go to our Babel config, and yeah, it's just a regular plugin, but I think I'll probably just leave it as is. Let's see though. Use ES modules. What is that? Carlike, you said not already with just version 24. Does that mean it works with 24, but it doesn't before that? I don't know what that means. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so that's good so far. Yeah, sweet. Don't need that anymore. Okay, cool. So now, yeah, now I feel like we're probably pretty good. I'm not going to rewrite everything to hooks in this commit. I want to do that in the next commit. So we have one commit that's all the config changes, and then one that's the code updates. So actually, let me double check. I think I had a beta or alpha or next version. Let's just make sure that all these versions are current. Yeah, they are. Good. So let's run the validate script. Yeah, the bridge isn't needed in v24. Yeah, sweet. Rock on. All right, good. So things seem to be working swimmingly so far. We got the build. We have our server running. We don't get that warning about being outdated. Let me check out. This serve package is really annoying because it will tell you that things are outdated. So it's an awesome package itself, but the warning that, hey, things are outdated is really annoying, and I want to get rid of that. Okay, well, everything's passing, so that's good. But let me look at serve. I feel like there is... Yeah, I think... Here, let's look at... I filed an issue about it, and they sort of kind of fixed it with an environment variable, but I don't want to use environment variables for that. Process env dot no update check. Yeah, see, that's the only way to make the update check not happen is you set update check to 1. That I'm not happy about. I would much rather have an argument for that. Super annoying. But I shouldn't complain if I'm not going to make a pull request, and I'm not going to do that. Don't you have to run yarn remove to remove it from the lock script? If you, that's typically the way that you're going to do that, but if you manually update the package JSON and then run yarn again, it will update your yarn lock file, which is great. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and run the start script. That's going to start up my server and then the client. Oh, it looks like it runs the client's, the built version of the client, which is fine because we've built it already, but instead, well, we'll do this first, but then I also want to run the dev script to make sure that works also. So we're going to go here. Sweet, there it is in all of its built production glory. We can do 7 times 8 or 3. Yeah, I typed 3. We can change it to light and dark. Pretty fancy. And then we can register with all my testing stuff in here. Me at anything. And then there's me. Then I can log out. I can log in. Me at whatever else. It doesn't matter. It doesn't keep track. The backend just actually doesn't do anything useful. It's only there to be there so that we can show you how to start up the backend and reference that. We don't have as much time to show you how to do the backend stuff, and that's not really what I typically teach. I'm not really a backend guy. All backends are so different anyway. So, okay, cool. So that one works. Now if we run npm run dev, then we get the dev server running. Boom, and we can pop up localhost 8000 here. And that is our debug version of React. And 7 times 3 is still 21. And that's great. And we can go stuff, whatever. And there we go. I am stuff. Very good. You know what's cool is it's all working. I didn't have to make any changes. And I knew that because my test passed. Yeah. Also, it's like a super small app, so I'm not super surprised. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and git add, and we'll git commit, upgrade all the things. We'll push that. By the way, those of you who are watching me do this stuff, sometimes maybe it feels a little mundane, but you are really helpful to me. I've spent the last couple weeks having like just kind of trudging through stuff that is not very fun, and I mean lots of the stuff that I do is a lot of fun, but like there are some things that just make it not very fun, and so it's really nice to have you here, and this is part of the reason that I live stream so much, is because you help me do great with that. So cool. All right, we've got somebody posting spam, which is great. We've been upgraded to the spam world of spam. That's awesome. And I navigated to the video just in case, and to verify that's what it was before I showed it. And now I'm going to mark them as spam now that I'm back on that page, and I'm waiting for all the comments to load in, and it's taking a second to do that. React to this video. Yeah. Let's report that as spam, I guess. Unwanted report. Okay. Cool. So, great. Let's go ahead and rewrite this stuff to hooks now. I'm gonna tweet about that actually. So let's go to the coding playlist. Or actually, you know what? I already tweeted about this, so I'll just reply to that tweet. And oh, hehe. Thanks there, Tiago. No. Where? Okay, here we go. I'm about to rewrite a small app to hooks. If you wanna tune in and YouTube. There we go. There's that link. Okay, sweet. All right, and then I'll look at those later. So this is the app. It's pretty simple. You've literally seen all of it. Big thank you to Michael Jackson for creating the calculator that I'm using. And so now let's go ahead and I'm going to run the dev script. Get that thing up and going. You'll notice that this is not using create React app. There's a reason for that. It's because I wanted to show you how to configure Jest, and create React app does all of that for you. So yeah, we're doing this ourselves. And yeah, I think that hopefully makes sense. Yeah, the configuration of Webpack is leaving much to be desired. But that's not what we're learning. We're not learning how to configure Webpack, so we're good. Okay, cool. So let us go ahead and we'll run here, and actually we'll have the, here, let's get rid of that one. We'll do a new tab and npm run test. Because we're local, that'll run in watch mode, so we get that running. And we'll start here with the, actually let's start with the leaf nodes. So we'll go into our shared stuff and we'll do auto scaling text first. So we've got some prop types, we've got a ref, this get scale thing. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and rewrite this. We're going to make a function, auto scaling text. That's going to take some, here, let's see, props. Do we take any props? Yeah, just children. And we expect that to be a node. So we'll just take children and we'll take these prop types and tack that onto auto scaling text like that. Get rid of that. And we'll just move our render stuff in there. Then our scale, I'm going to turn this into a pure function actually. So anytime we see this, there's only one place we see this. So I'm going to pull this out, make that a function that takes the node. And then we'll get our scale from get scale with that node. That's going to be our node ref current. We're going to get our node ref from react.useRef, and then we'll pass the node ref here. And then instead of this .props.children, we'll just use children, and then we're set. Test should still pass. Sweet, and the app should still work. It sure does. Cool, right? Nice, nice. Good. All right, sweet. So let's move on to the next one, calculator display. This one has no business being a class component, so this will be really easy. Calculator display. Here, actually, this is even easier. Function calculator display takes our value and props. Here, actually, let me show you how that'll work. We'll just do this, paste it here, get rid of this and that, and then the static will get moved down here, and we will attach it to that, and let Prettier just format it all nice for us. Sweet. Good, right? That's good. Pretty happy with that. Okay, cool. So that's that one. That did not use hooks, but it is what it is. Here's our utility thing, so we'll just leave that one where it is. And let's go to load user. So this is, oh, it's using component. Good old component. I love this. But we don't need that anymore. Instead, we're going to use a function. Here, let's see how hard it would be to refactor this thing. Actually, it's not, it doesn't have a render method. So this should be entirely a hook, I think. Let's see, we'll look at this one later. This one's a little bit different. Super fun how React hooks is removing a ton of stuff. Yes, Carlike, yes, it is. Login form, here we go. This is a good one to move over. So we'll say function login form, and that's going to take some props on success and endpoint. And we'll just remove this. We'll move this up. Say login form dot prop types. That takes care of that. And then we have some state. See, here's the thing. We have an error state. Do we ever call set state with anything else? Yeah, looks like we don't. So that's all the state that we care about, which is interesting. I guess it's because we like immediately redirect. I'm gonna refactor it to be as little as possible, and then I'll show you a better way to do this now that we have hooks. So we'll start with error and set error with React use state, and we'll initialize it to null just like it was before. And we can get rid of that. And then our handle submit. This one's pretty easy. You just move it up, const, except I don't like using arrow functions for something like this. I like function declarations. If it's not one like an implied return or whatever, then I prefer to just make it a function declaration. Yep. Yeah, looks like this could probably be updated. I guess I never deployed this thing. Whoops. Okay, so then we have our login form that still has a render. So let's take this, and this is the easiest part. You just move that. Whoop, The hardest part is making sure you're at the right place with the curly braces. But with all of that, we should have a almost functioning thing. Let's get rid of anytime we see this. Yeah, anytime you see this, dot should be removed. And we destructured props, and so that's why those are gone. And then here we're going to say set error with that error. And we'll call this E, so we don't have variable shadowing. Oh, okay. We'll say error, because that E. You know what we could do is, well, I'm just going to leave it that way. Okay, cool. And then handle submit, we have this dot handle submit. See, we don't have this anymore. We're good. Our tests are not passing because we're importing component, but we don't need that anymore. Solid. All right. Why did you use component and not pure component? If you never use component should update, because I don't ever need it. I've never used pure component or should component update ever. I've never needed it, and adding it would just add unnecessary complexity. So I don't need it. I don't mind getting extra re-renders 99% of the time. Cool. Okay, so that's the login form. Let's look at our themes. That's just a regular module. That one we're still, I want to wait for a little bit. Here in our index, we're doing some interesting stuff with component. Yeah, okay. We'll hold off on this one too. The calculator is kind of big. Let's see. Let's do the app. That one will be a little bit easier. We'll just get the easy ones done first. So we'll say function app. This is going to take user and logout. And then we'll take this, say app dot, move it up. And then our state, the only state that we care about is the theme. Yep. So we're going to, and let's see, our theme, we're getting it from the, or we're rendering the theme provider. So we're in charge of updating and managing that theme. So I'm going to say theme, set theme equals react.use state. Oh, and you know what? Don't let me forget. Yeah, actually, I don't want to forget. So we're going to hold off on this really quick. I'm going to fix this login form. So the handle submit is doing a lot of work, and that works fine. Like it still functions, but I don't like it this way. With like, for example, what if we added some like success message or something, or if there was some other thing that could log the user in, or whatever the case may be. I feel like it's, or actually another situation is, what if I wanted to cancel this request? Like the component's going to be unmounted, and so I want to cancel the request. That's probably the best scenario. For that, you're going to want to use an effect. And so pretty much I've found that it's best to just put everything into state and or put all of your side effects from event handlers into react.useEffect, and then everything else should just go into state. So your effect needs something, just put it into state. So that's what we're going to do here. We'll say react.useEffect, and we'll bring this down here. And this is going to need the username and the password. So we'll take username and password. Okay. And then our username and password, username, set username equals react.useState. And actually, we'll just call these form values, set form values null. And then we'll say form values, dot username and dot password. We'll just pass form values there. And we also want, here, we'll just let Dan Abramoff fix our thing for us. Ta-da! I don't like that I have to put form values in there. So yeah, that'll actually work fine, because the form value itself will change every time. And the only time it'll change is if the username and password do change. So here now we can say set form values to username and password. Sweet. And then, yeah, and then everything actually continues to work just fine. And then if I wanted to, I'm not going to, but if I wanted to, it would be pretty easy for me to return a cleanup method that would cancel Axios, the Axios request, which would be great. But I'm not going to bother doing that. But I did want to make that little adjustment there. Well, I'm starting to get kind of hungry, so I might need to leave here pretty soon. Okay, so our state, we initialized it to dark, so we'll initialize it there that way as well. And then we'll have this handle theme change. We'll just move that up, make that a single line function. And instead of set state, we're going to do set theme to the value. Sweet. And then we've just got our giant render here. Boom. Right there. There we go. And let's just, I'm going to get rid of this React fragment nonsense. We'll just, in fact, we don't need the React fragment anyway, because the theme provider will just render children. It doesn't need children to be anything in particular. This dot state can all just go away. And this dot props dot user, this dot props can all go away also. And I think that's solid, except we need to get rid of the class definition. Oh, and then this dot handle change. Boom, boom, nice. Okay, cool. So that one's done. User and log out. Yeah, that's good. I think we'll probably leave that as is. Except I'm kind of sort of thinking maybe we'll refactor all of this once we're all done, where app will just use like use user or something like that. That'll maybe be what we end up doing, but we'll see. Cool. So let's go to the calculator now. The calculator is a bit bigger, but it's not like super complicated or anything, so we're fine. Yeah, we're fine with this. We've got our calculator key that really has no business being a class component anyway, so we'll say calculator. This, I may have built this at the time where I was like, okay, I'm tired of converting from class component to a function component, so I'm just going to do everything as class components. I went through a phase. Don't judge me. Okay, sweet. So then we've got our render. We're going to just move all this stuff up in here. And then instead of getting this from props, we're just going to stick that right in where the props would go and get rid of that. Sweet. That takes care of the calculator key. And then we've got our calculator. This one's going to be a fair bit more of a refactor. Yeah, this one's going to be interesting. Buckle up, friends. Okay, so we're going to make a function called calculator. And let's see what we've got. This props. Nope, no props for the calculator. That makes it nice and easy. And then we're going to have our state. And I'm just looking at this thinking this is definitely going to be a reducer. So I'm going to have dispatch equals react.use reducer. And we'll have our function calc reducer. We'll stick that calc reducer in here, and we'll have our state initial value will be right there. Then I'm going to take my state and I'll destructure it into that, getting rid of all of those. Okay, cool. Feeling good about that. So we get rid of all that state stuff. And you know what I'm going to do? So I'm going to take a look at all the places we're calling this set state and just see that it's using the object form everywhere. So no state updater functions. Great. So our for now, our calc reducer can take state and or we'll say current state and new state, and we'll return current state and the new state. And that's all that it needs to do. So now, instead of this.setState everywhere, I can call dispatch with the same arguments, and it will continue to work. So part of the refactor concept is that you do as little as possible to make it work nicely. So Maxwell just asked a question about the login form. The use effect will run when the component mount with empty username and password before the handle submit is called. Oh, very good. Thank you. So we want to add if form values, or if they're not form values, then we'll just return. Thank you, Max. Probably would have, actually I may have just not noticed that because our backend doesn't really do anything useful, and so probably would have just, that wouldn't have worked out very well. So thank you. That is helpful. Okay, so yeah, we're going to do this.setState all of those times, but we need to move all of these methods up into our function component. Then we've got a component did mount and component will unmount. So actually what I'm going to do is I'll move these two first. So let's just take these, put these in an effect function or react.use effect, and return our cleanup function for the component will unmount. And then our handle key down, let's find that. This handle key down function, move this thing. Are you hearing my stomach right now? I am. Okay, so we're going to make this a function that takes the event and it does stuff. It gets the key. If the key is enter, then we'll say it's equals. Yeah, and then we just test the key. Looks like we're going to prevent default for all of these situations. Yeah, okay. That's fine. And then all of these input digit. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so pretty much all of these this dots can go away. And we'll just reference display value. Maybe I will do state dot display value. Maybe makes a little bit more sense there. Calculator operations. Yeah, we've got those. Cool. All right, nice. So that's our handle key down. So here's the thing. our right now we said this this React use effect is going to run every time. So we're going to add the event listener and remove it, add it, and remove it, add it, remove it. So I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do an empty array. But this handle, this will now only add one event listener, which is the handle key down event listener, which could potentially have some stale data in it. Luckily, well, actually not luckily, this could definitely be a problem. And I'm surprised actually that we're not getting a warning for this, because I feel like we should for sure. Because yeah, now our handle key down event listener is not gonna work very well. So what's the best way to do this? Probably would just be best to let it add and remove the event listener every time. That's probably not very expensive. And I mean, like, another thing that we could do is we just take this and put it in here. And then we could just say here, I'm surprised it's not giving us a warning. I would expect ESLint to give us a warning for this. Here, I'm going to make this go away because we're going to be here a while. Because we're using state display value. Huh. I thought that I had things wired up properly. Anyway, this should definitely be giving us a warning for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and we're just going to say we'll set up the event handler every time and never have to worry about bugs. And performance, this will not be our bottleneck ever, so we're going to be fine. And actually what would be cooler is probably to use a library that does this. So let's see. React use global keyboard or key down. Yeah, key down. Hook. Actually, awesome. React hooks. Key. Mousetrap. Hotkey hook. Okay, they've got all kinds of stuff going on here, so I'm not gonna. It's probably too much. Hotkeys.js. So that's also probably more than I want. Yeah, more than I want. Okay, event, use events, mouse events, browser history, mouse action, use calendar. Cool, interesting. DOM status, interesting. Okay, well, that's not going to be what I want. So, question is, why are we not doing a switch statement here? Well, because each one of these is a little different. So, like, here we're doing a regex test. Here we're doing, like, an imperative, is this key in the calculator operations? And then the rest of these we're doing this stuff. I don't really see any benefit to a switch statement over this, personally. I often don't use switch statements. I do it for my reducers sometimes, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if else switch doesn't seem to make much of a difference for me. Okay, cool. So I think we're good there. It would be cool if there was this really simple React hook, generic React hook that we could use that could maybe be somehow optimized, but I don't know, because the inputs, you don't want your event listener to be to have stale data, to be a stale closure, and every time we render, this closure is gonna update. So okay, sweet, thanks. So Now we're going to move all of this, all of these functions up here. I still haven't decided where I want my effects, or like where I want my code in here. I think we'll just do it like this. So we've got all of these. These are going to be functions. This is going to be, oops, a function. And this is a function. Okay, now comes the big task of finding all this dot set states. Yeah, we'll just call dispatch. And actually, you know what? I'll just rename this to set state. Yep. And then anywhere we do this dot state, we can actually just get rid of that because we're destructuring it above. And that. And that one, and that one. And then we'll get rid of that too because we're going to move all of this to the end of our render. Boom, 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 boom. Somewhere around here. Yeah, right there. I think that'll work. Kind of lost here. It's so big. Let's get rid of that really quick. Huh. Okay. There's just something weird about this code. Oh, it's already been displayed or declared. Oh. Okay. Oh, interesting. Huh. So we've got a function that's called clear display, and then we had a variable called clear display. Display is non-zero. And now I'm getting a big error because this function's too long. Yeah. I kind of think I should just make that rule like 500 lines because that's silly. So, oops. Wait a second. Or in fire file. I like to do it down here, get it out of my way. You don't see it unless you're really investigating what's going on. Toggle sign. Apparently that was never used, so that is a nice thing about function components is you don't have things like this as methods in your class that you actually don't ever use. You can just get rid of it. Okay, so let's get rid of all of this dot stuff. Boom. Cool. And then, oh, there's toggle sign. That's weird. Toggle sign. Ah, man. Let's copy that and then we'll redo everything. Okay. We'll come back up here and add toggle sign again. Oh, it's because it was using this dot, and that's why it was not being referenced. Okay, that makes sense. All right, sweet. So if we save that, then presumably our test should still pass, thanks to React Testing Library. Yes, sweet. Okay, well, let's see if the app still works. That should have refreshed, but I'll just refresh it just in case. I don't know what 79 times 9 is, but that probably is right. +1. Yeah, sweet. Then clear. Clear, yeah. Sweet. All right. That's kind of fun. Huh. Clear. All right, nice. Okay, so I think we've just got this load user that's left and the index. So I think it'd probably be easier. Let's change the load user to be a custom hook instead of this thing. So we're gonna make a function called use user. And this is going to take So Maxwell just mentioned that our use effect is just registering the key down event listener. Yes, that's what it's doing. Then it returns a cleanup. My understanding is that this listener will never change when the component is mounted. So here's how this works. The component is rendered, it's mounted for the first time, so this code then runs, and then we do a state update. And because we haven't defined any dependencies, then that tells React, I want you to run this callback every single time. And so it's going to run our cleanup, and then it'll run this again and give us a new cleanup. And that's important because the handle key down function is going to be a new function every time that's referencing this state value, which will also be new every time. So it's important to keep that difference there. Yeah, otherwise we'd have to list handle key down as a dependency. We'd also have to list input digit, perform operation, input dot, input percent, clear last character, clear all, clear display, and state.display value, which effectively is going to just make us re-render every time anyway. So we're good this way. Hopefully that makes sense. See you, Tiago. So like if you think about it from like one of the things with React hooks is you really do need to understand how closures work. And the idea is that we're making a copy of this function every single render. This function will be a new, like every time we render, we're making a new copy of this function. I think most people should be able to understand that. Like it's being defined, it's being created. There are now 2 copies in memory at the time that this code runs the second time. So the thing with closures is that all values that are referenced inside of this function are going to be referencing the value that it was at the time the function was created. Okay, so this input digit is a function, this state is an object, and if those objects are the same between renders, then that's fine because you're accessing properties off of them. But if they are different, then you're going to be in a world of hurt. So that's why it's like this will help us avoid bugs because we're gonna just get rid of the old one and add the new one. So it looks like that makes sense. So that's good. Okay, so use user. We're basically gonna have an effect here. So we're gonna just copy this and react.use effect. And let's see, we want to do this when we get a change in our token. We're going to need to get our token, I guess. Yeah, well, the token is going to come from local storage. So I'm going to pull this up. So anytime there's a change in the token, let's see, we've got set user. So whoever's using us is going to call set user, or going to give us a set user function. Kind of thinking this would be better just to inline it where it's being used and then extract it. yeah, here we're gonna do function full app. Yeah, I should probably rename app to something else. But yeah, so let's just pull all this out. And here we're going to have our user and set user use state. So if user, then return. We don't want to do anything if there's already a user. I'm going to pull Axios in here. I'm going to move that up. Sweet. And this is going to tell us, oops. Oh, right, we need our user in there. Good. And what we were doing before was just rendering nothing, basically. Component doesn't render anything if you don't provide a render prop, so we just rendered null. So what we can do here, we'll say if there's no user, then we'll return null. And otherwise, we'll render all of this stuff. I think that'll do it. And then we'll have our full app right here. And we can get rid of the component and load user. We might bring that back eventually, but for now, this is what we're going to do. And then instead of state dot, we'll do just user. And then instead of set state, we'll set user. And here, that one's just going to be set it to null. And that. And actually, we'll just do that. Okay, I think that I may have made a mistake in deleting that other file. My bad. So let's go load user. Oh, component will render its children always, I think. Maybe children. Oh, if there's a user or there's no token, then we want to render. Yeah. Or there's no token, or and there is a token. So if there is no user but there is a token, then we haven't gone to load the user's information yet, so we'll just render null. We could just render a loading user. Otherwise, we'll render the whole thing and they can log in if they want. Sweet, so let's go ahead. Pretty fast. Okay, so we'll register foo bar. And here, let's actually see that loading state. So we'll do network slow 3G and I wish I could just make XHRs slow, but make the development server to get the JavaScript faster. That would be nice, because I don't want to wait this long to just get the JavaScript. And note, this is development React development stuff. This little calculator app is not a megabyte. I'm not sure how big it is, but it's, yeah, probably pretty small. But the development stuff, like source maps and all that stuff, it's pretty huge. There we go. Okay, so loading user, ta-da, and then we load it up. Yeah, sweet. All right, good stuff, good stuff. And if we look at our application, local storage, there's our token, just a math.random thing. Kind of fun. Okay, cool. So, feeling pretty good about that. Let me get back here and we'll go. Oh, we're good because I closed the thing. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good about this. Then we could turn this into a custom hook. This whole thing could just be a use user thing, which would be great, but I'm gonna just leave it as is. This is the full app. And then here's the app that doesn't care about users, actually. I think I'm probably just gonna leave that like it is. So I'm pretty sure we're good. We'll run npm run validate once more. That'll run all of our tests with coverage and Cypress, and we should be good to go and push this stuff. And then I can go through the process of updating videos and getting things ready for workshop. Probably do the workshop first and then videos second. You can remove disable cache, then the JS will load fast, but data will load slow. Oh, nice. Good thinking. That's a good idea. Of course, now it's not working because it's not running, but cool. Okay, so we'll commit all this stuff. Actually, I have a pre-commit hook that does all the whole validate script. So I think we're probably fine there. But yeah, so I'll commit all the stuff. Rewrite to hooks. Middle, yeah. You can remove disable. Oh, I missed something. Okay. Sweet Caroline, I'm super ready for lunch. Oh, I just missed a message from my wife. Whoops. Hold on a sec. I'll be right back. Okay, so the message was, my son had a doctor's appointment, and I was gonna watch The Boys, and my wife totally forgot about it. Went to the library and stuff, and thought that it was at a different time than it was, and so she went in, because she's like, I don't have time to go home and whatever. So she just took all the boys. I have 3 sons and then a daughter who's at school. She took all the boys to the doctor's appointment, and he said, oh, you're like 40 minutes early, but we can just do it right now. And so she did it with all 3 of the boys. Yeah, sorry. So I don't need to watch him, which is nice. Okay, so I'll just push this, and now I'm kind of curious to just take a look at what the diff is, and we'll just go over it together, and then I'll be done for the day, or at least done for the morning, because I'm gonna go have lunch. So let's take a look at our commits. We've got upgrade all the things, and so we swapped the Babel emotion prop or Babel plugin for the Babel preset from emotion, and that's working great. And then we added, well, it just kind of got all moved around, but we pretty much just added Babel plugin transform runtime, so we're good there. Got rid of the package lock and replaced it with a yarn lock. Moved the pre-commit because Husky got updated and stuff. It actually still works. The old way still works, but yeah, they don't want you to do that. Temporarily updated post install to use yarn instead, and the setup as well. But that's all the scripts that we changed. All the other scripts are fine. And then added the transform runtime and the runtime here. Added the emotion thing. Upgraded CSS loader, file loader, and Husky. And added jest-dom. We're not actually using jest-dom, but I added it anyway to show how to use it or how to do the setup thing. And then we have just emotion. You know what? One thing that I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to go here to, So what I was going to say is, for the reach router, oh yeah, right here, we're using the router here, and in our login form, we're using navigate. Our login form tests. Yeah, we don't have login form tests. Okay, so I may, yeah, I'm gonna have to decide some things. So this project is 100% like, this is just how you configure Jest and how you configure Cypress, and then also how you write Cypress tests. But then I have a whole different repo on how you write Jest or tests with React and Jest. And I think I'm going to leave it that way. And so mostly because I don't want to make a big application to show you all the different things that you can do with tests. I'll just show you how to configure everything so it's nice. And then we'll have another app that's just a Create React app that has a bunch of exercises and stuff. I think that'll be a lot better. Here in the Cypress stuff, we can do some exercises and whatnot. Maybe I do that somewhere else too. But anyway, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. So we've got Just Emotion upgraded, and Lint Stage and React Testing Library upgraded, Test Data Bot. Yeah, the only thing that we really needed to spend any huge amount of time on was Emotion and Jest. Husky was really easy to update. Jest actually wasn't all that hard to update either. Emotion was probably the hardest, and in a legit application, that upgrade to Emotion 10 would probably be like by far the longest process. Upgrading Husky and Jest, that's just a couple configuration changes that shouldn't be too problematic for anybody. The server side, we just upgraded debug. And then, yeah, here's what you'd probably have to do throughout your code base. And then updated the calculator test utils to have a better render that uses the wrapper option instead, and also allows you to provide your own theme if you want. And updated Jest configuration to have the setup files after env. The reason that I filed the issue to ask for this was because the setups test framework script file could only be one file, where they also have a setup files, which happens before the environment's loaded, so you can't use things like after each and whatever. But this one can only be one file. The setup files can be an array of files. And I was like, hey, that doesn't make a lot of sense, and I'd actually really like to be able to do an array of files here, because my setup files after each, all it does is import other files. And so if we just did an array, then I just reference those other modules and life would be good. And they made that change, and I'm super happy about that. So then we have Snapshot Serializers, which was another change. I actually, I think I may have implemented that in Just Emotion to, now I'm kind of curious, Just Emotion. I definitely filed the issue, but I may have been the implementer of this. Oh, actually, yep, there I am. I created this thing. Should we remove this? No, don't remove it. It's great. Oh, actually, no, they changed a whole bunch of things, actually. But anyway, yeah, so I'm glad that's there, because it used to, you used to have to do this stuff in a setup file. And I was like, that's kind of what everybody's going to do, so why don't we just do this by default? And that's what they do now. Okay, cool. So that's it. Let's take a look at the hooks rewrite. This one's going to be a lot more red and green, so I'm not actually going to review it, because yeah, we'll just leave that as it is. I'm going to go have lunch now, hang out with my family for a little bit, and then come back. And I don't know if I'll be doing more coding with Kent live streaming this afternoon or not. We'll see. But I do need to start planning which of these testingjavascript.com videos I need to totally redo, and which ones I can like slightly rework. So this one will probably require quite a bit of rework for the changes that I just made, particularly the Jest configuration And I don't think Husky needs, I don't feature Husky in this one. Husky happens in here. So I'll have to update it there. I'll also have to update ESLint in there because there was actually a bug. I used a string of 2018 rather than the number 2018, and whoops, in some configuration there for ESLint. And I also am going to add some setting up TypeScript stuff there, which means I probably want to add some setting up TypeScript on this one as well. This one will probably have like maybe 1 or 2 changes because React Testing Library has had a change with, I think, I can't remember if I have, no, this was before hooks were a thing, so there was nothing hook specific here, and there really isn't anything hook specific at all with React Testing Library. It all just works, and it's nice. So I might add one test to show that hooks actually still work, one video for that, but that's probably all I'll need to do there. This one, I'm pretty like 99% sure that one stays exactly as it is. I don't need to make any changes there, which is very nice. And yeah, so that's it. Does jest-cypress-react-babel-webpack now support TypeScript? No, not today. But I think I will add like one little thing at the end to show you how to add TypeScript support for the testing specifically. Yeah, but we'll see about that. If not, we'll definitely at least add TypeScript, a lesson or 2 about TypeScript on the static analysis testing, because this one does have one about flow, number 6. So I'll probably add one lesson here at the end to show you, oh, and if you want to use TypeScript instead of Flow, here's how you set that up. So, okay, that is it for this morning. I hope you all are doing awesome, and I will see you all another time. Goodbye. That was the wrong bumper. We're doing Coding with Kent, so goodbye again.